Gemini season is right around the corner in just a few days. And are you ready for this fast thinking, quick moving, high energy that's about to be part of our experience? So one of the cool things about Gemini energy is how it begins our ability or develops our skills in relationships. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. My name is Tamara Bartmus with Lightsome Living. I am here to give you a simple but straightforward overview of what to expect during Gemini season of 2024. So let's get started. Let me share my screen and jump into it. So as we begin Gemini season, I think it's important to hit the basic things about what we want to know. When are the high points? When are the significant points? So these would be what I would consider the significant points to be aware of. Mark on your calendars, make a note in your phone. If you don't already, track it through other apps or, moon cycles. But the sun will enter Gemini on May 20th at 6:59 a.m. So that's Mountain Daylight Time. That's where I'm located. So the cool thing about the sun moving into Gemini, it also starts this, or it is part of this energy that is happening right now and will continue to happen for a handful of days after the sun moves into Gemini. That's the conjunction of Jupiter, Venus, and Uranus that are in Taurus still, but that shift will start happening a little bit into Gemini season. The other points to make note of are May 23rd, we'll have the Sagittarius full moon. Please note the degree of that and how that impacts your own birth chart. That will be in the morning at 7:52 a.m. Mountain Time, Mountain Daylight Time. And again, we continue this theme of Jupiter, Venus, Uranus, and Taurus, and it introduces a cradle aspect pattern, which I think is super fascinating and an invitation that I'll talk about at the end of this video to step forward and stop avoiding, but to sort of grow up and mature in our emotions, in our way of thinking, and in our way of communicating. So we'll talk a little bit about the tool we can use to do that. But I'm hoping, if time allows, to actually do a separate video on the Sagittarius full moon and also the Gemini new moon later during Gemini season. Because Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, it's significant to note that Mercury will enter Gemini on June 3rd. And then we'll have the Gemini new moon on June 6th. And that happens to be in conjunction with Venus and Mercury. So we'll have a lot of themes around Venus and Mercury this month. We'll have a lot of course, Gemini energy, but those are the significant key points I want you to make note of because they're just highlights of what is happening on a monthly cycle as we grow and develop our Gemini nature. Now, remember, everybody has all the signs. So even though you might not be a Gemini sun, you still have this energy about you that is getting developed and up-leveled during the Gemini season as the sun moves through that. So additional significant events that I want to make note of and that I hope to provide more videos for you to learn about. But May 25th, and if we go back here, I'm just going to point out again, May 20th, May 23rd, and then May 25th. So it's a sort of a banger of a week next week. We have Jupiter entering Gemini. This shift from Jupiter has been in Taurus for the last year, and that's brought a lot of financial insight, possibly overwhelm, maybe some debt, maybe some luck, maybe some challenges, maybe some reevaluation of really what you value. So we love having had that experience, whatever it is then been teaching us. But now as it moves into Gemini, that's going to be a whole different conversation. And it will enter Gemini with the energy of Venus and the sun around it. And it stays in Gemini for the next just over a year. So this is another topic that I want to dive into. Look for another video to come soon with more info, more details about what you can look for and what that is teaching you. I'm excited for this shift. I think it's very valuable to understand when the further away planets move into new signs. That is something to be aware of, right? Some other significant events to pay attention to. Now, these are a little bit more nuanced when it comes to astrology, but I do want to highlight them. On June 4th and on June 14th, we have some these themes of Venus and Mercury, they hit what is called a superior conjunction. So that is part of the phase growth of Venus and Mercury as they go from retrograde, and they leave retrograde zone and they start speeding up, and then they hit the opposite of the sun, so the Earth and then the sun and then these planets that are sort of lined up opposite to us, presenting this opportunity for a shift and a transition in how we utilize these planetary energies to get what we want and to communicate and to think, and how we integrate the things that we've learned in the first half of its phase to the latter half of its phase before it goes retrograde again. So Venus, last time it was retrograde in the middle of its cycle was August 13th. And that started or indicated the beginning of a new phase of energy for Venus. Mercury had that as well, but because Mercury moved so quickly, it wasn't so long ago. It was April 11th of 2024. So just in the middle of the retrograde season, a couple months back, we had this new Mercury cycle start. And that presents a similar shift and a similar transition, but just different planetary uses of that energy. So remember, that shift is indicated by the Mercury and Venus move from rising before the sun to now rising after the sun. And that shift is called a superior conjunction. So those degrees, if they hit something significant on your birth chart, pay attention to that. That might have more significant impact on you and how this energy expresses in your life experience and the circumstances that show up for you. All right, and then the last two significant events would be Venus and Mercury actually go conjunct exact on June 17th. They start that 0 degree in Cancer. So the sun hasn't moved into Cancer yet at that point. That will happen on June 20th with the summer solstice. But I wanted to highlight that significance of Venus and Mercury alignment, because that again presents this really interesting integration of both of the things that we desire, how we attract, and the way we think and how we speak. So hopefully I'll be able to do some more detailed on that as well. When it comes to really taking advantage of Gemini season, I do want to highlight that I have this book. I'm so excited. It is coming soon to Amazon. It is in the proof stage. I hope to have it released on May 20th, which is the first day of Gemini season. So if you are interested in having a workbook and a journal that guides you through Gemini season, this is the book for you. Now, again, this is for every sign, for every person. It's my way of helping you learn how to utilize the energy of every month of the year to support your growth and awareness of how that impacts you personally. Like of course, you can go listen to different horoscopes, but there is something unique and powerful about writing down the details and getting clear on you and your unique expression of every energy. It is a little bit more work, but it's way more rewarding. And you also up-level your astrology skills in the process. So again, that's going to be released on May 20th. That's the hope if Amazon works with me. And I plan to have these available every month. I'm just working on getting them uploaded and published through Amazon. So look for these workbooks, and you can collect all 12. They are perpetual workbooks, meaning you use them for that month, and it can be applicable to all that you're going through that month. It's a really great experience to use them at. Of course, I'm going to say that because I created it, but I hope you will check it out, and I'll put the link in the description below for that. Another thing that's coming soon is for people who are learning or want to learn how to use essential oils for the zodiac energy. And this is something I've been working on for the last year to really break it down into a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual layer of how to use these oils for what is going on. So you get a little bit more nuance and application of the energy itself, and also how it works through those oils. This is something I am providing for free. I just have to finish building out the way of delivering that to you. So that will be coming as well. So I have so many great things. Make sure to follow along here on YouTube. and to like and subscribe so you can be notified of when I do more education on all of these things. I was so excited to bring them to everybody who are really wanting to learn how to make this a more practical and learning experience of astrology, and how to support their body in these transitions that are always happening with everything going on in the sky. So I thought I had one more slide. I guess I don't. That is your preview of what to expect for Gemini season. I am excited. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to share, and I hope you will enjoy this because, again, like I said at the beginning, Gemini is the first air sign of the zodiac, and being the first air sign, it means that it begins what is relationship skills. We have the air signs are Gemini, and then Libra, and then of course Aquarius. All right, and each of those help build on the previous one as to how we use relationships in our lives to help us grow and develop. And there's a lot to be said for each of those as unique energies. But when we focus during Gemini season, it is a great opportunity to help us be prepared for the next, for Libra, especially with Venus being in Gemini. Oh my goodness, we are going to be preparing now for what's going to happen at the end of the summer as we transition into fall. So be ready, take the time to do the work now, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks, guys.